Okie dokie.
All right.
Just double check here. Looks like it's working.
Mhm.
Testing, testing. Looks like we're good. Welcome, everybody, to our Tuesday night Star Wars Ahsoka spoiler-free recap.
Yeah.
We're hopping in. We're diving deep into all the things that we really enjoyed after the episode. First off, reactions, that kind of stuff. And I think this is a really good one. I really enjoyed the flow of this one.
Yeah, I definitely got into it a bit faster. Dialogue's feeling better.
Also, hello there, Perry. Good to see you.
Hey.
Yeah, I feel like it's faster, but it's also taking its time. Like I feel like they're giving the time necessary for them to really get into the story. You know, like they're giving themselves some breathing room.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. Yeah, I think they're taking their time. It's good pacing. It's good pacing for once, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like they know what they're doing. They know what direction they're going. They know what kind of a story they're going to be telling, and they're just doing it. Like they're giving themselves the freedom to really try something different in Star Wars.
It feels so good. So good.
We're getting some more like Rebels kind of vibes as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyone who says this isn't Rebel season 5 it's lying.
Yeah.
That's 100% a lie. This is absolutely like it feels like Rebels. They look like Rebels.
Yeah.
It's Rebels. It's Rebels season 5. Okay, guys. No questions. Hands down.
We do see Jason, right?
Yeah.
That's his name? Yeah. Jason Syndulla?
Yeah.
Or Jason, right? Syndulla?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think so.
He looks a little bit better in live action than he does in Rebels.
Yeah.
He looks like a freak of nature in Rebels. Terrible.
Yeah. Frankly, it's probably good that they went more with the human side than the Twi'lek side.
Yeah,
because
they went more Twi'lek side in like Rebels.
Yeah.
He looked really strange.
Yeah. Green hair. It's cool. That's about all we know. They're all we see of Hera's side. So okay, cool. I honestly totally forgot about him. Oh yeah, she had a child.
Yeah.
Right. I knew that. Nah.
Hey Torbus, how's it going? Good to see you, as always. Green hair is something I've got in common with them.
Hey.
Yeah. Let's break this down into like beginning, middle, and end. We're not going to get into any spoilers, so no need to worry about that.
It's going to be hard for me.
Save that for a breakdown. Yeah. Okay. Thursday, our breakdown, which we'll get on all the details and spoiler-filled stuff in that. But beginning, I feel like we're getting into what the story is going to be. It doesn't seem like they're going to be telling the big story. We theorized this before the show came out, but this isn't going to be the Thrawn's here and we're going to attack Thrawn show. This is let's find Thrawn and learn about ourselves on the way kind of show.
Yeah, classic Rebels move.
Yeah, it is.
Of like we're setting up the big battle. In the meantime, we're all struggling. So let's figure this out together. Like there's this nice like camaraderie thing that's happening here. Yep. Good interactions with Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yes, I think that's it's a really interesting part of things. I feel like Ahsoka is so different in this show than she is in Mando, though.
Really? How so?
I don't know. Just she seems more like separate from the interactions. Like she feels not a part of things, but like an onlooker of things.
I would have to see her again in Mandalorian just to confirm that. Yeah. I think it's just the dynamic that we're getting with her being so close now to other people instead of her just being on her own little mission, doing her own little thing, feeling passionate about the little things that she can do.
Yeah.
And now it's just so much bigger and she has to have other people. I don't know. And being in a more mentor role is not something we've seen her in. So I don't know.
Torbis says she seems like she has seen a ghost.
A little bit. But she's growing on me. That
You think so?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. She doesn't feel like Ahsoka to me.
Well, okay. But
not that we've seen a whole lot of her.
No, and honestly, seeing her in the animated Rebels didn't feel like Ahsoka to me either.
Okay.
So,
but I feel like she got a lot more of like her personality in the Rebels show. Like she felt more of like she knew what the heck she was doing.
Right.
And maybe it's the interaction between Sabine and her that's really like causing that weirdness. But it's something that I'm noticing of like, this is a different Ahsoka than we've seen in anything else. I think that the thing that really messes me up is it feels like a continuation of Rebels, but there's been so much time that's passed.
It's true.
So it's this weird like conglomeration, like mix and mash of like this feels like Rebels just happened, but it also feels like there's been years since Rebels happened.
Yeah, so it's like we've got good pacing now, but the whole like time frame / I don't know, the sandwiching of this time to get it to here, it didn't quite pan out, maybe like just how it is that much time, but the way that we're on interacting is a little but we've said that before, and so it hasn't fixed itself yet.
I think that's just the growing pains of going into this era, going into this story with these characters in this time frame. I think that's what's really like, okay, let me rewire my brain. Like this is a new era, even though it feels like it's not a new era. And like time has passed, characters have grown, things have happened with these characters. And I think that's what I'm really noticing is like, okay, we're learning the language of the show. We're learning how these characters are interacting. We're learning the strengths and weaknesses of these characters as well as the dynamics. I think Hugh Yang was a great aspect of this, and I think he's going to get even more important with every episode that happens.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing with him because they're not making him the funny guy, you know, they're just making him a droid with protocols. Stating things like they are. And
he's so good. He just straight up tells Sabine like you suck.
I wouldn't have chosen you.
Out of all of the Jedi that have ever been in the Jedi Order, you would be the worst.
It's good.
Yeah, so good.
No, I appreciate him. We don't usually see droids like that, I'm going to say.
They're either super boring or super comedic relief.
Yeah. So,
and he's like right in that line.
Yeah.
And I think it works really well.
I mean, he's towing the sassy droid line, but he's doing it in a way
he's
that's
respected, like, unlike, you know, like C-3PO would say the same things, but they'd be like, screw you, bro. Get out of here.
Off. Yeah. And R2-D2 is sassy, but he just can't talk to you, really. I mean, I guess he pretty much did talk to everybody because everybody seemed to understand him somehow. But, yeah. But it's different. There's a different feel with this droid, and I appreciate it. I like it. I like this dynamic.
It's a good kind of like anchor from all the way back to Hugh Yang is older than Yoda, older than a lot of the Jedi, older than really close to the age of like the Jedi Order. Like he's been around a hot minute. Has a ton of experience, has a ton of knowledge in his database, and is apparently still like 70% original parts.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I feel like his role as a droid, he, like you said, Torbis, he has seen it all. He has gone into many different experiences. He's trained tons of Jedi in combat. We do see some combat training. We get to see some very new perspectives from the original Jedi in this era where they haven't really seen a Jedi. And I like how I think I'm going to call this right here. I think what we're going to see is not Sabine become a Jedi, but become her own wielder of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
I made the joke while we were watching it. It's like, I'm the one with the Force and the Force is with me. Like, I feel like that's going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
The Force is a tool, but it's not always like, oh, I'm going to make their Force brain explode with the Force. It's, no, I can intuit things through the Force and not just have to make things move with my brain.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see a really interesting dynamic with Sabine and the Force and what kind of a warrior that creates her to be, because she is a warrior. That is what she is. That's who she is, and that is how she will.
She's a Mandalorian.
Yeah. So it's going to be So they're setting her up to become her own sort of powerhouse, to have the balance of the Force and that calm.
They just keep on nailing it home too. Of like, she's not Force sensitive. She is as least Force sensitive as you can be, according to Hu Yang.
Doesn't mean she's not.
But it doesn't mean that she's not. So I feel like she's going to be her own flavor, not Jedi. She's not even really a Mandalorian, really.
Well, and it makes sense, because is Ahsoka a Jedi? Not really anymore. No.
Yeah, but she has
away with that.
She has at least the training of it.
Sure.
And has the skills in the Force of a Jedi. But I feel like Sabine's going to be something entirely different and something entirely new when we look at what does it look like to be a Force user in Star Wars in this era. Apparently Siri activated.
Siri had to chime in.
Yeah. Barry also is on the I don't want Sabine to be Force sensitive train as well.
Yeah. I feel that. I get it. Do I think they're going to stick with that? No.
I think, like they said, the Force is within all of us. It's within every living being. It's blah, blah, blah. That is true. It's within every living being. It's the thing that makes up and connects and binds the whole Star Wars galaxy. But at the same point, I think there's going to be a gradient of what that intuitiveness looks like. And will Sabine even be that? I think is a question that we could ask.
It is. I don't see how they can make her, like, not non-Jedi journey a thing without showing some sort of physical Force something that we
You think
know
she's
and
gonna
understand.
you think she's gonna win against the teacup?
I think so, at some point, even if it's just a little wiggle. In which case, if that happens, you owe me a coffee. So I have to believe it.
Is she going to be like Captain America, like where it wiggles a little bit and then later on she's like, "Wow, I've got the hammer."
Yeah, could be.
Barry says, "I'll be pissed." Same here, man. Same here.
I'm just saying, with just how things have, the trajectory of things in Star Wars, it just seems like that's how it's going to be. Do I think she should? No, I don't. I think she should stay very Mandalorian, just very much us. Can we have someone we can relate to? Can we have a Jedi person that we can be like, I could do that.
I want the person in Star Wars who just fails miserably, so I can be like, oh, that's what I would be like in Star Wars.
That would be me.
Finally, someone who doesn't do like a backflip.
Someone who doesn't jump 5 stories up.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. So. Yeah, we're all rooting for Sabine to be the person that we can get behind as far as just our normal human selves. But I just think they're going to have to... I think they're going to throw something in there.
You think so?
I think so. But I'm really curious to see if they don't. If they don't, ooh, this could be a really good storytelling.
Let's get a vote in the chat. Sabine, Force sensitive, meaning... I mean Force sensitive in the way of like she's going to... be able to move something with her mind across. Like if let's just say I have a coffee cup right here, I'll she'll be able to like bring it all the way to her hand kind of thing. What do you think?
I think my only question for that would be like, what is the purpose of her being force sensitive in that way?
Yeah. I don't think there is a point.
I know. I really can't see it. Unless it's like just moving fast or moving some sort of like way that she can incorporate it into her.
I mean, I think the best way would be for
fighting.
Yeah, enhancements. Like Anakin uses the Force in his as a child, the ability to drive that ship and be able to attack and take down one of the Confederate spaceships, like that, being able to use the Jedi reflexes like he did in pod racing. I feel like that's the best example of how Sabine could best utilize the Force with how limited she is in it.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that? There's a term for it. I don't know. Chat, help me out. But yeah, where they can like predict what's gonna happen or like
precognition kind of stuff.
I guess.
A spidey sense.
Yeah.
The Peter tingle.
It's the being one with everything that you know and can predict things. That's what she really needs. Will that be her thing? Who knows? Maybe she'll like create this whole new way of Force things.
Well, I think if we look at like Chirrut Imwe, he's a great example of this. Like he is using the Force to enhance his sensitivities and to give him the ability to tell where people are and channel the Force in a way that like helps him, which I think is great. I think that's a good example of things. Torba says, Dave really seems to like the idea that anyone can be a Jedi, that anyone can use the Force. I hope Sabine only gets on things like the Jedi reflexes, but not full on. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny. In the episode, Ahsoka says, start small. And her going straight for the cup, being like, I can move it. It's like, no, that's not small, honey. It's not small. Maybe meditate. Maybe sit there and think and feel things. Like,
what about like a feather?
Smart. Yeah. How about not? How about just something else?
We did not get a Lothcat update in this episode, though. Who is taking care of the Lothcat? I need to know.
I'm so invested in that cat.
Please. I have to know. Is the Lothcat?
Is it okay?
Is it okay?
Is it getting scritches?
Torba says, yeah, how about a pebble of sand instead? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Something tiny. I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
If she says she can't feel anything, maybe you should work on that first. Maybe you should at least just get your senses out there.
Well, I feel like Huyang says this, so like there are a few number of Mandalorian that have ever become a Jedi. And I wonder if that's part of like their creed, of like their mindset, how they're trained, how they grow up, how they are approaching the galaxy. If that just limits their ability to connect to the Force.
It makes sense. They're so body over everything.
Yeah. Control, practice, hard work, effort, and a lot of it is so military and so political. I doubt that they ever give themselves the opportunity to just sit down and, I don't know, like breathe.
Right. Yeah, there's no like moment of calm. See what your emotions are. Put them away. Like there's none of that. There's just
keep on going or you will die.
Go, go, go. Yeah.
Yeah. Perry says, also people have said multiple times that smaller is harder. So Ahsoka is giving up straight up bad advice.
Oof.
Torba says, could it be that they hid the ones that were Force sensitive or repressed their feelings about it? I think that's possible. I wonder if it's just their upbringing and their like society values physical strength and physical prowess without the, I don't know, augmentation of the Force. So maybe even if they do have the Force, they just repress it in a way that like they may be Force sensitive, but they just don't utilize it.
Yeah.
Or don't realize it.
I mean, I don't see them valuing that at all. Like I feel like if you showed any sign of that, it would be kind of like, oh, so you're gonna cheat your way through this? I see how it is. You know, like I feel like they would see it as a weakness more than you did the hours to make it happen, sort of thing.
Torbis also has a really good point. He says it doesn't help that they hate the Jedi and lost a massive war about it.
True.
I'm getting like big Harry Potter vibes in this headcanon of like the Mandalorians, and like the Mandalorians are the Muggles, and then the Force sensitive are the wizards, and they like repress their abilities. That's kind of the thing that I thought of with that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Perry says they would value it as an asset, but also as a crutch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I think I think this is what's so exciting about Ahsoka and Sabine. Well, I wonder if we'll ever, if we'll get to the point where we feel like this is a Sabine show more than it is an Ahsoka show. I'm getting kind of hints of that, but unlike Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett, I feel like we're getting more of who Ahsoka really is in this show than Obi-Wan or Book of Boba Fett ever did.
Yeah, as much as we're getting Sabine's like trajectory of like, oh yeah, okay, we're seeing kind of where she's gonna end up. We're also seeing Ahsoka for sure. Like, oh no, you got a lot to work through too. So yeah, at this point, things still feel very balanced. Still feels like the Ahsoka show. Thank goodness. Hopefully they can hold on to that.
Yeah. I'm here for Ahsoka, okay?
Yeah, everyone else is great. And the Lothcat. Honestly, if we just named this the Lothcat, it'd be great.
Yeah. Dude, I'd play
Lothcat show.
I would play like the Stray game, but Lothcat in
edition.
Star Wars planets. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I need that mod right now.
Finding your way into some Jedi ruins.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Just imagine like going around Lothal and like, I think that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Torbis has a good point. He's like, I love the variety of force wielding though. Like the Chiss that use the force to travel hyperspace. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the cool thing about the Force is that you can utilize it in so many different ways. Night Sisters as well, Perry points out. Night Sisters uses a part of the Force that ends up being more like dark side focused. But if you look at someone like Marin, she does utilize the dark side. It's more on like the dark side than it is the light side, but it isn't evil. It isn't that.
It isn't really derived from
hatred,
a place
really?
of hate. Yeah. It's just a tool.
It's almost like the unadulterated Force. Like they're just pulling it from themselves rather than naming it light side or dark side.
Yeah.
They're just pulling it out and utilizing it as a tool.
It's going to be interesting because Sabine, as an artist, is going to be taught these very strict rules of how you should use the Force. But also as an artist, once she somewhat gets it, she's just going to take it and do her own thing with it. So that's what we're really here for.
Sabine does say, I'm going to give this my all. And I think that's
me.
And I think that's perfectly indicative of how she's going to take the idea of the Force and make it her own. Like you said, she's going to learn the basics and then just run with it. Or Perry says like the Jedi from before the Republic, the like almost the original. Like they just used the Force as the Force. They didn't do anything special with it. They didn't do anything like evil with it. They utilized it as a tool, and then it was brought into like, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is like this or that.
Yeah. Once it became its own thing, then suddenly it became complicated.
Yeah.
Then everyone took it their own way, and it was like, I'm going to use it for bad, and I'm going to use it for good. You know, as things go.
Yeah.
A pure thing always gets corrupted somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good closer for this.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our breakdown video on Thursday, where we're going to dive even deeper into all of the lore pieces, and we're going to talk about Merrick. I think that's going to be. I've got some thoughts, and we're going to break that down. Basically, right after we end the stream, we're going to hop on a recording and get that rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, every Tuesday after the episode, probably going to be around 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to hop on a live stream, so make sure that you stay subscribed for that. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.